Good morning, friends. Welcome to Interfaith Community Sanctuary. Sorry we're starting a little late today, but it happens. We're here, and we're going to be here to celebrate a wonderful morning with Peace Camp International, both with our families, our friends, our participants, the whole 9 yards. You're going to hear the whole story of how is Interfaith Community Sanctuary connected with this beautiful program, which lives here and has lived here in our beautiful sanctuary for 13 years and is part of our community in a very deep and meaningful way. You're going to hear about that today right from the horse's mouth. And we're also here to worship together and to be with each other in community. And we're so happy that you're here. We're happy for those of us who are here online, and they stayed with us for a few minutes and got an extra cup of coffee while waiting for us to begin. And my name is Sally Jo Gilbert DeVargas. I'm co-minister here at Interfaith Community Sanctuary. Imam Jamal Rahman, who's also co-minister, he's off co-ministering or ministering at another community today. I think he's up at Unity in Linwood today as a guest there. So he cannot be with us this morning, but he sends his love and greetings. And we are going to be, as I said, welcoming our peace campers. We're going to begin, however, we began with the lighting of the World Peace Candles, which we do every Sunday. We opened the altar where many sacred books from many sacred traditions, world traditions in the area of spirituality. These are a lot of the beautiful philosophies and words and scriptures of those philosophies and those religions coming through and perfuming our air and our atmosphere for us today at the sanctuary. We also have our altar for the Divine Feminine, and we'll be offering a little reading for that in just a minute. So we welcome you here, and I'm going to call Chris up to welcome our ancestors and also to honor our first peoples of Puget Sound. Thank you, Chris.
Good morning. Hello. Welcome. Welcome to all the folks online. My name is Chris Rapsevich, and I'm honored to, again, offer a welcome to our ancestors. When I think of ancestors, I think not just of the folks who've passed on through the veil and gone on to the next world. I also think of books that I've read, ways that characters have helped shape me in those books, maybe whether they be sacred books or books of other types. But I'd like us to think of everyone who has in some way been an ancestor to us, whether it is through blood, through friendship, through being a teacher, which I am, which Sally Jo has been, which Gretchen also has been, and so I'd like us to think and gather those folks together, think kindly of them, whether they always had what we may have thought of as the kindest things to say to us. Just think of anyone who we would consider an ancestor in any fashion, and let's help them gather together in this space. Okay. As part of that, though, I like to think of, and this is, I'm not just doing this because we have young people in our space, I like to think of our descendants and think of how life is kind of a continuum, and how as I pass around the circle, the wheel of time, that there are other people who are coming after me, and I hope that all of the efforts that I put forward and that we may think of as good efforts to help in our sacrifices for this world and help of the struggles that we have. I'd like us to think of the people who come after us, our descendants, as a way to bring the circle, the wheel of time, to close up the gap there. So let's think of our descendants also. Okay, and the last thing that Sally Jo has asked me to do is to acknowledge that this land is unceded territory that was originally inhabited by the Coast Salish people, many, many tribes, and people have walked this land, also done sacrifices and held this land sacred in preparation. When people from Europe came here to these shores, they were heartily welcomed, and we hope to, as heartily as kindly, to think of the people who came before us on this land, the native peoples of the Coast Salish, and particularly the Duwamish. The Duwamish are one of the tribes here in Seattle. They named one of the rivers that run through Seattle after them. But somehow, in the national sense, the Duwamish have not been recognized as a tribe worthy of that designation. So our group does make contributions to the realrentduwamish.org site. There are a lovely space on Marginal Way near Harbor Island that's a longhouse for them, and I highly recommend that you go to visit that. To close my piece here, I'd like to have us gather all of our joys and sorrows. I'm going to put my hand over my heart, and if folks want to join me, that's lovely. But I'm going to offer all the joys and sorrows I have to Creator. I'm going to raise my hand up, and hopefully Creator will observe my gift and offer me a gift in return that I can then return to my heart. As I raise my hand up, I'm going to say the sacred word, oh, and I hope that you say that with me. So one more time, take a deep breath, gather together all that brought you here today, all the different experiences, positive, negative, all things that we'd like to offer to Creator. One more deep breath. Oh! Blessed be. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. The room is getting crowded now from all the ancestors and the native people and the descendants who are coming after us, and we're all here to celebrate and worship together. I will offer now a short reading from one of my favorite representatives, in a sense, of the Divine Feminine, Marianne Williamson, who many of you have heard some of her writing, I'm sure. This is from her book, A Return to Love, Reflections on the Principles of A Course in Miracles. I think this is particularly relevant to our time right now. So I ask you to think of it in light of what many people are telling me. This is a time when they're living in fear a lot. So this is about fear. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine, as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. Amen. And now I'm going to turn the program over to our esteemed Peace Camp leaders and participants. I'm going to introduce first, all of you should know by now, our own Gretchen Rowe, our interfaith representative and the founder and the head chief cook and bottle washer of Peace Camp International for the last 13 years, who dreamed this up and has kept it going and has kept it going and growing. And she will introduce the Peace Camp staff this year that are with us today, and the students and adults who are running the program right now as we speak. Peace Camp started this past week. It's going for 3 weeks. We hope everybody will come and check out the work we're doing. And in the meantime, we decided that having them at a Sunday service is always very appropriate, so we can reach others who may not be aware of what goes on Monday through Friday here at Interfaith Community Sanctuary.
Thank you, Sally Jo. I'm going to stand up. My name is Gretchen, and I started Peace Camp 13 years ago, and I really want to acknowledge our co-founder with Jamal, Karen Lindquist, because when Karen really, I had the passion and the desire, and she really pushed me to put it into action. When I told her the idea, she said, okay, write a proposal. And I was like, oh, I don't want to write a proposal. But it was really, really good for me, as those things are, to really think through what was it that I wanted to do. You know, yes, I had the impulse, I had the inspiration, and I always say that Interfaith Community Sanctuary, this building and the people that come here and the welcoming, how everybody is, it reminded me of my grandmother's house and playing with my cousins. And I come from a small town on the Oregon coast, and I kind of would look at light inside of themselves and beauty, and the beauty in me and the beauty in you, and beauty interacts with beauty. And now we have Peace Camp, and I'm happy to say that it has grown from the organic Gretchen framework and word of mouth to now Chiaki has really brought it more into the forefront with her digital skills, technology skills, she has so many ideas. And so really, I say that it's Chiaki. I started it, as Mangesh constantly says, founder and director. And I'm kind of embarrassed because, like, Chiaki has put in so much work to keep it going. And I do want to say one last thing, that I was telling Chiaki, I'm so, so grateful for everybody here. And Elliot is here, one of our younger Peace Camp campers. And Leah is there. I don't know why you're not here. But anyway, I was telling Chiaki, what feels so beautiful to me is Peace Camp. You know how we have things in our hearts that we wish, like, I wish the world could be like this, or I wish this could be like this. And Peace Camp is my wish. And the fact that Chiaki and Mangesh and Soni and Sylvie and Caden, they're keeping the heart of Peace Camp alive. And it's so, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like I feel like my life is complete. And so I'm really grateful, so thank you.
I get a little nervous. I wrote this. Oh, okay. Okay, so my name is Chiaki. I am tired but happy. That we often say in the circle time we are happily tired. And I am looking forward to sharing some of our experience with you all today. This is how we start our morning circle. This year we have so many kids sign up, so we have 38 of us fill this sanctuary, beautiful sanctuary, and wall to wall, just having just a tiny little space between us. First of all, I really want to thank all of you, ICS and this building. Thank you for sharing this beautiful sanctuary with us. And the basement, that every summer, the first week, kids come in, they go, I remember this smell. That's their memory connected to this place. That I remember this smell in the basement, the fellowship hall. And then there are 2 squares right in front of this building. Everything as Peace Camp memory connect here. So thank you for sharing this place with us. So a lot of people ask me, what is Peace Camp? What you guys do? And it's really hard to explain in one word. But the first thing came to my mind is that this is such a special, magical place for all of us that feels like everyone show up once, 3 weeks, once a year, and then some of the returning camper really pleased to see each other again. They keep coming back because that's just such a safe place that they can show up who they truly are and that they feel fully accepted. So that's, you'll be surprised that it's just kind of rare to find those safe places these days, even at the school, work. Sometimes something struggle happen, and something hard time happen, but this place that they remember as a safe place to be who they are. So yeah, that's a very special thing about the Peace Camp for all of us, especially for me too. Let me think. Let's see. So one camper last week said that we have lunch at the stairs and on the side of work, and he's maybe coming to Peace Camp 3 years, that past 3 years, and he said a little bit hesitate at the beginning and say kind of out loud, like, I want to keep coming to Peace Camp forever. Then I'm going to bring my kids, I'm going to bring my grandkids, and we're like, even you're 85, you're going to come? Like, yeah. But that's such a sweet, sweet thing that he shared with us. And he can actually feel safe to say that in front of us. That was really big for me to hear it. And he's 10, and he was asking Kaden on the way to somewhere in the field trip, like, how old do I have to be a CIT? And then like, wow, it's 14. And he's like, 4 more years, and he can't wait to be a CIT, which is also such a big gift for us, because you guys are modeling really well. They are showing how fun it is, how meaningful that is for the young people. But also, he just can't wait to lead the next young generation with this kindness and compassion and the humanity. That is something that you don't see when you are back to your daily busy life. So that is really a big gift for me to witness those moments. Then I was also talking to Bernard, who is our another international counselor from Uganda. Unfortunately, he couldn't come join us this summer, but he was saying, like, Peace Camp is like a medicine that really cures our heart. And also he was just saying that, after kids growing up coming to Peace Camp every year, that his word, they are not going to be an ordinary or U.S. citizen. They have a global view because we have exposed to everybody. We are not staying just with a U.S. kind of typical perspective. and then they have so many things that they learn, they grow, they learn the leadership, and want to continue this work with all of us, and then they never be alone. So that's a really big thing that we are creating together. And for my closing circle, my name is Chiaki, still happily tired. And I'm grateful for you, Gretchen, to bring me into the Peace Camp family. That means so much that I'm also an immigrant, came from Japan, and feeling like really alone, how to fit in, struggle to how to fit in. So it was really meaningful for me to find that my life work and my community, and how that continues with many generations. So thank you.
Thank you, Chiaki. Hello everyone. My name is Soni. I'm feeling kind of emotional and really happy and proud to be here with you all. I'm just looking forward to share my experience with you. I'm feeling like so grateful to be here. As you see, me and Mangesh are here, but it's just not me and him. There is a lots of things like behind of us. You can see Chiaki, Auntie Gretchen, Carissa, Auntie Salijo. These all people are working behind of us to be. We can come here. So it's just not us, but behind of it, there is so many challenges, so many things which are going on. But sometimes we just see, yes, this is the peace camp, and we all are doing this. Yeah, and it's like, this is so, like I really do appreciate and grateful for these things. Like I can be here with you all in front of you. And the best thing about Peace Camp, if I say, just not to be here, but as Bernard also said, it is medicines. And as we come to the Peace Camp once in a year, it's just like everyone have our own lives, different challenges, different responsibilities, but if you come here, you will get that safe space. Seeing those little kids' smiles, their energy, it can feel your heart more healed. So that's what I feel to be here. And like every kids, just like Chiaki said, like day before yesterday on Friday, I just heard some of the parents were saying how kids are grateful and how they wanted to be a leader and how they can take this camp forward. So it's just not the thing that we are doing the peace camp, but you can see the roots and that fruits that's taking ahead this camp. And like Sylvie and Karen, like from childhood, they started to come to the peace camp, and right now they're leading the peace camp. It is so proud to be with them and working with these all people. And also, like for me, as I grown up in an orphanage, and from there till this journey, and it's like big journey, and just getting the support from the Auntie Gretchen, Sister Lucy. So this feels like because of them, I'm here. And it's like big journey of my life. And that Peace Camp holds so much of part of my life. There was one thing Auntie Gretchen said, like, it's just not connect with, the hearts connect with each other. So the thing is that I do remember that when like 13 years back she had started this peace camp, those roots she have like seeds and roots she has just I don't remember the word. Okay, she has put it in the peace camp, and that's now you can see the peace camp is growing a lot. And yeah, thank you so much.
Okay. Hello, my name is Sylvie. I'm a youth counselor. I'm 17, and I'm feeling good today. I'm happy to be here and talk to everyone. I'm looking forward to sharing my experiences at Peace Camp. I started as a camper when I think I was 8 or 9 years old, so I've been coming like 8 or 9 years. I started because my mom knows Gretchen and the school we were at, so we heard about it, and me and my brother signed up. And I didn't really know what I was expecting. I don't remember a lot of my first few years, except that it was always something I looked forward to, and I loved coming, and I felt excited every year. And then as I got older and came a little bit into middle school in those years, I remember that Peace Camp's always a really awesome place during the summer to kind of let go of all the peer pressure that you experience, especially coming into teenage years and like that middle school time when there's a lot of pressure at school to fit in and kind of meet certain expectations around you. But Peace Camp is a space where everyone comes and is just their self, and that's like what's accepted and expected at Peace Camp. So then, yeah, it was something that I looked forward to every year. And it helped me grow and just hold those values of Peace Camp close in my life at school and at home, and that I try to bring those to everything else I do in my life and have those same values and experiences. And then, let's see, I was a CIT when I was 14, so I was a CIT for about 2 years, and then last year I became a youth counselor. And as a CIT, I think the added responsibility, it was really enjoyable, and it kind of was a cool way to see the behind the scenes and really experience what goes into making Peace Camp the way it is, so that I can appreciate more how much work goes into it, but also how much fun it still is to be in the leadership role, which shows. Because the fact that kids want to be a CIT, which is more responsibility, but like no pay, no extra benefits yet, the fact that kids are excited to do that just shows how much fun it is and how our CITs then and now make it look so fun for everyone. And then, yeah, now as a youth counselor, I think it's really cool seeing how the kids come in and new campers kind of don't know what Peace Camp is all about. They maybe hear about it from their friends and then their friends like it, but they'll come in expecting to, do what they like, which is maybe for some kids it's like going to play sports and they immediately want to do that. So they're a little uncomfortable coming into circle time and having to share their feelings and like be a little more vulnerable and personal about their experiences. But then as the week goes on, kids usually open up and they are able to sit through circle better and they're excited for it. And they can kind of share a little deeper about how they're feeling. And kids have been able to share some really awesome things that they're grateful for at the end of the day. Like this week, kids said they were grateful for Mother Nature and humanity and some really like bigger things rather than just like thankful for people who played with them, which is also awesome. But yeah, I think it just shows that kids really want to be kind, and that's something that they want to be nice to everyone, but sometimes they have to feel like they have to have their guard up at other camps and be a little more like they can't open up and just share their feelings. They have to kind of be tough and like play with the kids their age and make sure that they seem cool and whatnot, but then when they come to Peace Camp, they're able to just kind of let that all go and realize that like what they want to be, which is like happy and kind, that they're able to do that. So yeah. I'm grateful for Gretchen for starting the camp and all our international counselors for coming every year to help support it and make it the way it is, because it wouldn't be the same without them.
Thank you, Sylvie. My name is Caden. I'm also a youth counselor, 17 years old, and I've been coming since I was 9. So I've been coming for 8 years. Gretchen was a sub at my elementary school, and she was talking to my mom about the camp, and my sister got involved. She went for like 2 years, and then I decided maybe I want to go too. It sounds like a very cool and unique experience. So I came my first year, and I just remember like having so much fun, meeting new people, talking to everyone. Everyone was super welcoming. So I kept going, and eventually I became a CIT, and this is my first year as a counselor. And I feel like every year I come back, I feel like I'm 9 years old again. And I'm just like there with the other kids. Like I'm more creative and open and like ready to do whatever they want to do. And it just like makes you feel safe and welcome and like so full of like youthful energy. And it's just a wonderful experience. And what I love most about it is it feels like this permanent sacred space that's kind of protected from all like the busyness and like the politics and the conflicts that are happening in the outside world. It's kind of like sheltered from that, and it's this place where kids can go and just do what kids want to do, which is play with each other and talk to each other and have fun. And I think it also teaches campers something that is kind of hard to find now, which is just to be like mindful and take your time and not like rush through life. Because we open every day with like meditation, and then like we share how we're feeling, what we're looking forward to, and then we all like dance together and just appreciate each other's company. Some days we have a Native American speaker come and teach us about the culture of some of the Coast Salish peoples, which is like a really unique and special experience that you would not get at school. Because school, you're just like rushing through the day, and they're trying to like give you as much information as possible, but Peace Camp is just like a very relaxed and chill experience where kids can kind of learn more about themselves, be more vulnerable, like Sylvie was saying, and just kind of like let connections with people happen and let their guard down, which is just beautiful and really hard to do nowadays, I feel like. Thank you.
Oh. Thank you so much. Before I begin, I want to say that that younger camper last year, and now he started in the first week, second, third day, closing circle, he said, "Thank you, Auntie Gretchen, for starting the Peace Camp." And I want to repeat that and say thank you so much. And I'm really grateful for that. My name is Mangesh, and I come from India, the orphanage called Mahir. The Sister Lucy, who is the founder and director of that orphanage. Why I'm saying that, I never thought I'll go out of my village. I never thought I will go out of my city. I never thought I will go out of my state. I never thought I will go out of my country. The day began in my life, growing up in orphanage, being in an untouchable family. We say Jai Bhim, the guy who wrote the Constitution of India, and he's become my idol. And the education and the power he started putting in Indian youth, it was phenomenal for me. Me and my mom were struggling for the food. My sisters, 2 older sisters were there, and it was just like, why are you born in this life? That was the question of myself, because being in an untouchable family means you don't have a right to education, you don't have a right to access the water, drinking water, you don't have a right to go to the schools, and nowadays it's changing. But before 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, most of them no education. It means no job, no money, you end up on the street. And that's what the life was mine too, with my mom. One day, I was growing up in an orphanage, and Sister Lucy came and she asked me, like, what do you want? And I said, food. Because at the age of 6, you don't need anything. You don't care about the city, you don't care about the world. You care about the food. And I said, I want food. And she said, come with me. And she took me to the orphanage called Mahir. And Mahir means mother's home. And age of 6, I came to Mahir, and I always call that's my second birth. I started growing up, and one day, one light came into my life, and there's a lot of stories happened. I started studying. I'm the first boy in my family who's passed the 7th grade. And a lot of drama, a lot of trauma, a lot of love, a lot of compassion, a lot of cry, a lot of things were going on. And when the light came in 2016, 17, that's Auntie Gretchen. And why I'm saying light, I remember she came, one of my brother, Gauss, he came and met her. He wasn't been past the counselor. And Sister Lucy came to America that time, and they were doing the Parliament of World Religion, and Auntie Gretchen and Sister Lucy met. And Sister Lucy was talking about Maher, and Auntie Gretchen thought, I need to go to Maher. I want to see in India. So she came all the way from US to India and stayed with us in India. And I remember there was a small hall where all the kids were there. And she came to me and she asked me, hey, you're doing a good job. I was like, what is that job? Because I was playing with the children, I was happy, I was connecting. I started a spiritual practices at that when I was grown up. And she said, you want to come to America? I said, what? That's the first thing. After that, I don't know what is America, I don't know what is the big thing, but I said something is good coming up for me. I still remember we sat in that small, like less than 5 by 5 room. On my broken phone, Auntie Gretchen sat with me. It was hot in June.
So hot.
It's a June, it's a 45 degrees Celsius temperature. Auntie sitting, sweating, and I was not sweating, I was just crying in my heart. With my broken phone, the first broken phone I got in my life, and she said, let's do the passport and visa things on that broken phone. Hours we spent. I don't know it's going to work, it's going to not work, but on a broken phone, she started filling up the form of visa. And I remember the quote from Leonard Cohen. There is in crack in everything, and that's the how light gets in. And that light I want to represent Auntie Gretchen, that we every single day in the Peace Camp we light. She filled up the form, I got my visa, and still I don't know what is that. Only I know I have to sit in the plane, I have to go to America. And that's the reason it's Interfaith Community Sanctuary. And Auntie started a Peace Camp, and I am the counselor for that. But I was not a counselor at that time. I was old enough to know the things, but I was not a counselor. I was a child. The first day, the whole month I was like this, looking at Auntie Gretchen's son, Emerson, Bryce, and Bryce Johnson. The first time I met them, and they were like, for us, white people, India, big, Emerson was big, Bryce was big. I was very, oh my God, look at them. And it was very different experience for me the first time, and the Peace Camp started the first day. And right here in this building downstairs, children were playing Legos. Auntie Gretchen came to me and said, please, play with the children. Because I was old enough, she thought that I know the Legos. Believe or not, that's the first time in my life I touched the Legos. And I don't know how to play. As soon as she turned back, she gave me responsibility. She turned back and she started going. I got up and I started sneaking out from the room. Again she saw me, the mom's eyes. She saw me and she said, where you going? And we were very shy. I don't know what I'm doing. She said, come here. What happened? Auntie, I don't know how to play the Legos. And that's the whole life. I said, yes, I need to do this now. And that's what I started coming up. Mostly this year I want to talk about when we have 38 people in this room, same building, same time, 10 o'clock we start the camp. We light the lamp and we talk about the light. Because sometimes we see the light outside, but we forget to see the light inside you. And we profoundly say with the campers, if someone's light goes down, we have to let that light to take that guy up, take that person up at the same light. So that is the really brightness of the light. We also tell the children, be grateful what you have in your hand right now. Want is good, but the gratitude is important to have. Because when we have grateful for the things what we have, we enjoy, we laugh, we openly hearted, we smile when you are grateful for that. So children are starting saying that, And that, as I said, Elliot, the younger one, he said that, thank you, Auntie Gretchen, for starting the peace camp. And the other one came, as all of them say, they said, thank you to this Mother Earth. At the age of 6, age of 7, age of 10. At the same time, one little one, he came and said, my name is this. I'm feeling happily tired, but I want to say thank you to the humanity. And that touched me a lot. And then I found the power of meditation. Why we're doing the service, Sunday services, why we do the meditation and all. And then we went back, and as a counselors, we had a check-in circle in the last, and we said, we do the meditation with the children, and that's important. It's not about sitting. I will come to the peace camp. Peace camp, the people said, oh, peace camp is all about sitting and meditating, putting the lights, but it's not only for that. We do meditation, we do the lighting lab. The peace camp, what I always felt in my life, what I learned from Maher, what I learned from peace camp, if you take a white paper and you draw something on that and you see that and you feel, wow, that's the real peace. You dance, if you like a dance, you put the music, you dance like anything, and after dancing you get tired, happily tired, and you feel, wow, I just love it. That's the real peace. If you talk to someone, you open your heart, you cry in front of them, you laugh in front of them, I think there is the peace. And that's what the Peace Camp International is all about. The people feel like Peace Camp is only sitting, meditating, teaching gratitude, teaching, because the things are not for teaching. Things are for sharing, I felt. If you don't share, they will never open up. These children, we are giving them a safe space to try to open up more. As Auntie Gretchen beautifully said that, we are lighting each lamp for everyone. As we have international counselors, we have a Chiaki who is managing whole thing. We have a Kaden and Sylvie who is grown up with the peace camp. I always say they're grown up with the peace camp, and they know the pain, they know the gain, they know the laugh, they know the cry. Soni grown up in the peace camp. And we never thought this will grow with the 38 kids. We are having 23, 24, 30 is the max, because this space is also limited. But the whole thing, what we are saying now, what I learned from America, if something children don't like, they just say, I don't like that, I don't want to do it. But we see these kids being a CIT and now a counselors, youth counselors, 8 and 9 years of experience, and still they want to be in the peace camp. I'm not promoting peace camp. I'm just saying we need each other to rise up in the same ground. We need to be grateful what we have in our hand, and we need to smile, we need to cry with each other. And that's what in the peace camp we are doing. And then the last, again we sit in the circle. Because Monday we start the whole new day. We go to the small park, come back, we play whatever we want, we come back with the closing circle. Tuesday, we go to the Golden Gardens beach, and we tell the children to touch the ground and say thank you to the Mother Earth. We tell them to see the water and thanks the water. We tell the children to open your arms and say thank you to this nature, because we need to connect them. If we're not, then who? So whole thing we goes on the Tuesday, the weekday, and the Wednesday we comes. The Wednesdays are Sis Winckley, who is the running of the medicine circle. We tell them the first people of this Seattle, and Seahawk, the Mr. Seahawk who started, and then Seattle become Seattle. The medicine circle, people do dances, lady love stories, khakla, ho, haichka, water blessings. We all do that kind of thing. So children needs to know what is that. And then on Thursday, we go to the, after Sis Winckley circle, we go to the swimming. That is the yearly routine for us. Swimming, we come back, we get tired, we do the circle. Thursday, we do the big park, because children loves to go to the big parks. So we take them 15 minutes. Whenever we go to the parks, 15 minutes, we do the community game to understand each other. We have to play together, and then they can play whatever they want. And that's how we started connecting children more. And the last, Thursday goes by, we do the talent show practice. When we say the talent show, it's nothing about what you're perfect in. The talent is whatever your heart says, I want to do, I want to present, and we all support each other. And the Friday is the Sweet Mickey's Day. We take the children to the candy shop only with the $5. They should know the value of money. We talk about it. Your parents are working hard. You need to be thankful for them. It's only $5, but you get a lot of candies on the Sweet Mickey's Day. After Sweet Mickey's, we come together, we practice whatever we love. On Friday, we do the talent show for 1 hour, 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock, and then we end our circle with the gratitude, with the group dance. And that's how the Peace Camp works with the whole thing. Missing Bernard as an international counselor, missing my brother Bryce is here, who is Auntie Gretchen's son, the other brother Emerson, who helped me to come up with my English, because I never been to English medium school, and the people like you who support the Peace Camp. As a program director of Peace Camp International, I want to say thank you to each one of you for lighting that light for Peace Camp International. Thank you so much, and deep gratitude.
Okay, Mangesh told me last word. I just want to thank everybody. You did a beautiful job. And when Mangesh was talking, I would tell the story a little bit differently. When I went to Maher, I said to him, wow, I think you would be really good helping with the ministry at Interfaith Community Sanctuary. And he looked at me and he said, Auntie, I really want to go to Peace Camp. and I said, you want to go to Peace Camp? And he said, yes. And so that's how, like, I was thinking, yes, come here, but I didn't know that he would be interested in Peace Camp. And that, I just have to thank God, the Creator, whatever your belief system is, thank the universe that he got his visa. It was quite a miracle. Literally, we were doing all of that work on his phone, and I was so hot. And I get easily frustrated with technology, and I could just feel him, I could feel his, keep going, keep going, keep going. And I was like, okay, Gretchen, keep going, don't give up, because he really needs you to keep going. And I just wanted to say, forget it. But our two energies together, it made it happen. And miraculously, again, he got a 10-year visa. Just because we filled out the application didn't mean he was going to get a visa. He went for the interview, and then actually in that time, afterwards, I went home and I thought, oh my gosh, what did I do? I lifted his dream up here. What if he doesn't get the visa and he falls down? And so we were, I think, equally really stressed out. And when he got here, every talent show, when we would talk about it, we'd both just start crying because we knew what went into getting his visa for coming here. So, and I want to compliment Mangesh because he's doing things with the kids and Bernard also, and Soni. They're doing things that I don't think the kids would listen to me as well if I said them. It comes the way, wouldn't you agree, that the way it really comes from deep within in their culture, something that ours lacks a little bit. And that's a huge blessing. It's a huge blessing to have the energies from different parts of the world be here. Including yours. Thank you. I'll give it back to Sally Jo.
Thank you so much for sharing. Oh, wow. So many stories come to mind, and I'm just so thrilled that we heard, this firsthand accounting of how Peace Camp has impacted so many people, and that could go on for hours and days because it has impacted even all the other kids from Maher who have come here on and off throughout the years and have impacted their lives and our lives, and how much I mean, we took Mangesh and Soni to our middle schools. I took them to Whitman Middle School, and they talked to the whole 8th grade class there who had never heard of Peace Camp. I got my principal to let me have a little assembly in the library only with the 8th graders. And these two, Mangesh and Soni, got up in front of those 8th graders and just talked to them. And they had them eating out of their hands. The teachers were sitting there. They couldn't believe how much the 8th graders were listening to them, and then got them up dancing, Hollywood dancing in the library of Whitman Middle School. And then they came up after the talk and they wanted to ask you guys questions and talk to you, and they shook their hands. And the teachers, the 8th grade teachers, are going, who are these kids? They didn't believe their 8th graders who were so snotty and sassy with them in their classrooms. And I'm not lying. Didn't this happen? You guys remember this. And I'm sitting there thinking, oh my God, because I thought it was something about just Peace Camp in this building. No, it's intercultural interaction that we need in this world. These people were coming up, and Soni she was so shy, you could hardly hear what she said. And people were coming up and asking you questions and wanting to know more about your life. They'd never heard of an orphanage. They didn't know what an orphanage was. And they didn't know what it was like to grow up in another country. And yet there they were communicating with these 8th graders in this. Anyway, it's incredible the impact we can have on each other. It's like Marianne Williamson says, who are you not? Who are you not to be what you are? And that's what you kids have all taught us, and I'm so happy. Now I want to open it up for some questions, some interactions with all of us. And I have one, I hope I can start the first question. I'm pretty selfish about that. I like to ask the first question. I'd like to ask it of anyone who would like to answer it. Maybe, not everybody would have to answer, but maybe from the kids and from an adult and from an American and a non-American. On a day-to-day basis, what are the biggest challenges you experience at Peace Camp during the day when you're working here? What sorts of challenges do you face? Because, those of us who work with kids, who've been in camps, who've been in schools, we're even in families with kids, and we know the kinds of challenges we run up against when we're interacting with young people. What are some challenges you meet with? And maybe somebody will think of something and just want to share. I don't want you to use names or anything like that, but what sort of experiences do you have that you find are challenging for you, and how do you deal with it? Caden, I'm going to let you go first.
One of the main challenges for me has been really trying to step up and become a leader for these kids, because Mangesh does it so well, and I've been watching him do it for many, many years, and he's been talking to me and Sylvie and telling us you guys have the authority now and have the capability to lead these kids, because you know the routine so well, the spirit of Peace Camp so well. So what's been challenging is just believing him and telling myself that I can lead, which is a very important part of Peace Camp too, is as you grow up with the camp, you are given leadership opportunities and you're given chances to not just participate, but help to grow the camp and actually teach the kids the importance of Peace Camp. So that's been challenging, but also, very helpful, and a very important life skill, obviously, is leadership. So I just so appreciate Mangesh for being patient and helping me and Sylvie step up into that position.
Maybe one of the adults could answer how, maybe Chiaki or Mangesh, what are the challenges you have here on a day-to-day basis? One challenge.
I would say that every child is different, and sometimes some of the activities, one or two, I don't want to do this, or they make some mistake and they feel really bad. And in the school, I really don't want Peace Camp to be like school, we want to opposite. So I really try to attend their feeling, rather than you didn't do this way, that's why this happened. That happens all the time at the school, and it's not wrong. But a peace camp is not the place to point that out. Peace camp is a place to be besides them, to attend this feeling together, and then move forward with them. And then there's a little teaching part might come after that, but that's how I try to do. But still, sometimes it doesn't work.
That's
So
interesting.
that's
So
how
it's
I have
it's a
idea
different
how.
technique than you use
Yeah.
at school. Thank you. See, I figured that's got to be true because the kids have a different experience.
Yeah.
And at the end of the summer, they're like, "Oh, we're going back to school soon." And I remember one girl at this circle looking around the circle saying, "It's kind of different being back at school. Like, it's a different environment." And she wasn't putting down school. She couldn't even really quite say how it was different, but she knew in her heart, and everybody in the circle is going. So we talk about having them bring Peace Camp back to school the best they can, and I think they do that. I really believe they do that. So thank you again. Anyone else have a question, a comment, something they'd like to share with the group here? You're most welcome to do so. We'll bring the microphone to you.
What I find about Peace Camp that's so cool is that you're giving people a very young starting point at which they can learn that they're a human being and everyone is an individual person. And really we're here to, in my opinion, to discover who we are and what we want to do in life. And you don't necessarily get that in school, but you have a program where you get them started early so they can see the possibility of what it is to be themselves in an open way. And then when they're not in Peace Camp, I mean, then you're out in the world. And ideally, you want to have people being peace ambassadors in the world because that's where it's really needed. And now, like for myself, I had to learn a lot of things, sort of on my own before I got comfortable in just being myself. And then wherever I go, whoever I'm interacting with, it's about being like a Peace Camp ambassador with that person. So I wonder if now I want to ask some of the younger people here, how has your life changed in terms of how you interact with people, no matter where you are, whether it's school or you just run into somebody, do you interact with them differently now than what you would have done if you hadn't been in Peace Camp?
Yeah, before they going to the question, I'm really proud of them, both of them, as I seen them grown. And end of the 4th week or end of the 3rd week, we used to have a 4-week camps. Now it's a 3-week camp. When we're done with the 3 weeks, we often says to the circle time and the last camp day, the Peace Camp starts from tomorrow. Because the real life is outside of the Peace Camp.
Yes.
And I see both of them, like I see them as children. I know they want to do play, they want to just sit on the table, they want to just play that. And now they're grown up. And now they're behaving, for me, their attitude, their compassion, their kindness grown a lot with the Peace Camp. Mm-hmm. And they can share whatever they're feeling right now.
Let's see. I think especially having the international aspect of it has taught throughout the years, like Mangesh, Soni, Bernard, and all the other counselors who have come over the years have shared a lot of their life experiences and aspects of their culture that are very different from ours here. And that's opened my views a lot, and I think it's helped me sort of when I'm in environments with my own peers, my own age, both at school and in other activities. When there's conversations about stuff, I'll often think back to values that come from maybe their perspectives or perspectives I've heard at camp. And I think they're just kind of ingrained in me now. And it's someone it's just offered a lot of perspectives that have helped form my view. So I'm not so, narrow-minded. And I can think about multiple people and multiple aspects of the world and take that into my consideration when making a decision or sharing my opinion on like a topic, maybe in a discussion at school, or sharing my view on something like larger scale, like political or like anything in the world.
Yeah, I would say the international aspect has been like one of the most profound for me, or has had the most profound impact. Because like they bring their songs and dances into Peace Camp, and everyone is, you know, in this space dancing with like no judgment and no shame. And I feel like after Peace Camp ends, like at school or like at a sporting event or something like that, you know, they'll be playing music and I'll be dancing and people will be like laughing and be like, Caden, what are you doing? Like, because we don't dance in America. Like, that's not a huge part of our culture. And I'll just be like, yeah, I'm dancing because it's fun and a way to connect with people. And, you know, I like invite them to join in and they often do it. And they're like, yeah, this is wonderful. And we're like connecting in a different way that people don't often do here. But it's way more common in India or Uganda. So bringing their culture like into my life and into the lives of the people that I interact with has been one of the most like important takeaways.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah, we're always, I don't know if we can trace this back to Peace Camp, but me and Caden, if you come to an Ingram School dance, I think we can confidently say we're the first and last on the dance floor.
Any other questions or comments or? Yeah, would you kids, anyone, would you like to say something, Elliot, about Peace Camp? No, you're a little shy. Okay, that's all right.
Hi, I'm Maya. My mom is actually right there. But yeah, guess I've been coming to Peace Camp for a couple years now, and I used to be really shy, maybe before the pandemic, and I don't know if this is because of Peace Camp or what, but now I find it's easier to talk to people, and definitely at Peace Camp, because at school and stuff, I really resonated with what Sylvie said. Like, it's hard because you're worried about people judging you, or if you talk to them, what if they don't respond, or they judge you. But at Peace Camp, I find that I can talk to anybody, no matter how old they are, if they're younger than me, older than me, it doesn't matter. And I had some like really meaningful conversations with kids that are like 10 years younger than me last week, and I was like, wow, you guys are like 6 years old, but you have some really interesting things to say. And it's kind of a connection that you can't have anywhere else at school. Exactly, yeah. But it was nice, and it's kind of refreshing. And when Peace Camp ends and it's time to go back to school, I feel like I want to be better, so every year I try to, when I'm talking to people at school, I try to think about what I would do at Peace Camp. And I don't know if I'm like doing that completely, but I think it gets better every year.
My name is Leah. Chiaki is also my mom, and Maya is my sister. I think my favorite part about Peace Camp is, of course, Mangesh and Soni, but it's coming back every year knowing that there's somebody there from last year that they knew. Like my friend, we play so much Connect 4 every year. I lost 104 rounds of Connect 4 last year, and I won 2. Yeah, we did keep count. But just like knowing that they're there every year, it's just like so nice, because school, it's like people are different every year, and you don't know if they'll still like want to talk to you like next year. But knowing that there are people there, Peace Camp, Mangesh, Soni, it's really nice.
What's your name?
What's your name?
shy. Don't worry about it.
Thank you so much. Well, I think the impact we have, the Peace Campers, and even at school and back in life, keep thinking about that. I think that's an important thing to ponder as we all go back into our life after Peace Camp. I have to tell you, in 2020, when I retired from my job at Whitman Middle School, and we had a gathering for the people who were retiring, and 2020, you know, that was the first year of COVID, and we were, you know, having a retirement party, because that was the year I decided to retire in July of that year. And I have to tell you, more than one person told me their favorite memory of me, and I had been at Whitman for 14 years. Their favorite memory of me was when I brought Mangesh and Soni to talk to the 8th graders in that room, in that library. The teachers told me that. So the impact we have on each other, on this, that was 2 hours of one day, and it wasn't even a peace camp. It was when they were, you know, it was during the school year. I don't remember why you were there in the school year. It was toward the end of the school year. So we don't know the impact we're having on the children, on their parents, on their brothers and sisters. Keep going, you guys.
I just have one more that just reminded me. Sorry, we won't go on and on and on. But I do remember why. Go on. That's right. My coaches sitting together, that's dangerous for me. I do remember why Soni and Mangesh were here that year. It was a visa thing. They had come, but anyway, so they were at my school where I was teaching also, and there was this one little boy who he was just really restless in our carpet time, my teaching time, and the kids were all on the carpet, and he loved Soni. He adored Soni. And Soni was sitting at a desk, and so the boy was being all fidgety and kind of getting in people's faces, and so I said, so-and-so, go sit by Soni. So he went to sit by Soni, and he still was fidgety, and Soni, she just went like this. And that little boy, he totally, like, grounded himself, and he just looked at her and went, yeah, so like you guys were, like we were all saying, the different energies that we all bring, and having internet people from the globe come and be with us is so beautiful.
Sorry, one little thing. So we also fund and support the Peace Camp in Uganda every year. It's only 1 week, and then I think they have 6 to 7 counselors they hire to attend 75 last year. Yeah, and then they usually say like, oh, maybe this year 50, and then every day goes, just more and more kids show up because they hear there's so much fun they are having, and they just don't want to go home at the end of the day. So someday we'll make it to Uganda to make this little exchange program. That's my next dream.
Okay, well, we can stay after. Oh, okay, Steve, last question. Well, whatever, we'll keep going.
I'd like to thank all of you at Peace Camp for giving me a chance to interact more with youth, because I don't have a chance to interact with children very much. And during my working life, I did occasionally, but not all that often. And then last year, Swin Clay invited me to support her in her drumming and indigenous dancing and singing, and I came. And I was really nervous the first week or two, and just really enjoyed participating in Peace Camp. And then this year I couldn't wait to participate again. And it's become one of the highlights of my summer to be able to join you all on Wednesday mornings. And I would invite, any adults here or listening, also the talent show. I came to the last talent show on Friday, and that was just so much fun. And so I'd like to put in a plug for the talent show as well. And thank you for the youthful energy that Peace Camp offers, and it's just been really good medicine. So thank you.
Yes, the next 2 Fridays, 3 o'clock, right here in this space, you can experience Peace Camp right at first hand. Somebody else had okay. So let's take a few minutes and share our wealth with the community. I'm going to pass the plate around here, and I know the people at home are going to, if they can, take an opportunity to donate online through our donate page of our website, interfaithcommunitysanctuary.org, and others can, some people mail a check. Can you just hold that and then just pass the plate next door when you get. People, yeah, she'll take it. Thank you. People do donate so many different ways, either through Zelle, through PayPal or Venmo, and then also you can mail a check. And we appreciate that because all these programs we have that are so beautiful for the spirit and the soul and people's well-being, they also cost a little bit of money here and there. And so we do put that money that we gather to good use and in our programs. And we have a lot of programs. Every day of the week we have a special program coming up this Friday that I don't want to forget to mention. Friday, July 31st, from 7 to 8:30 p.m. we have another musical offering. Fridays are often our music specialty days in the evenings. And we have a special guest coming up from California, who's a friend of one of our congregants. Her name is Hillary Stewart, and she does a form of singing that is a sound healing. It's guided embodiment meditation with crystal bowl tones, and then a form of singing without necessarily words and without even a special tune. And she teaches how to do that and gives people an opportunity to experience that. She calls it sound healing. And it's a way of lighting up the light inside yourself in a musical way and in a sort of improvisational way. And she's a seasoned energy healer trained in a variety of modalities. And you can learn about her healing practice. You can go on the website. These flyers are here. If you want to hear more about her, you can find her website. We also have our longtime member and the president of our board right now, Elizabeth Udding, who's giving a summer retreat on August 8th at Carkeek Park. The location has changed for this. She mentioned this before, and she's going to be working on the medicine wheel, which is one of her special teachings, the medicine wheel teaching. And it will be happening instead of going up to Whidbey Island. The ferry schedules were so complicated, and the ferries are very crowded this summer. So she decided to have it here in Ballard at Carkeek Park instead. And she has a beautiful space there where she has her wild church meets once a month. And she's going to do a more of an all-day retreat, 8:30 to 4:30 at Carkeek Park on August 8th. And if you want more information about that, you can pick up a flyer on that, and also you can also email her or call her for more information. And of course, we have regular classes during the week. We have the Course in Miracles that meets. We have book groups that meet, the Masnawi book. We have the Whirling Dervishes who come on Monday evening. All of this is open to everybody who feels inclined to learn more about their own spiritual practices, or maybe they're curious about other people's practices. You can find it all on our website, and an announcement is sent out on Monday mornings about all the classes that are being held that week, all the activities, the gatherings, and where they're located, whether they're online or in person or both, and also the times and the leadership. And you can find all the details on our website, interfaithcommunitysanctuary.org. So check that out. And of course, every Sunday we meet here at 10 a.m. many of you know Joel and Michelle Levy, who are actually very well-known Buddhist teachers in our area, and they're coming to be our guest speakers next Sunday, and they'll be sharing their wisdom and interest with us next Sunday. And after the service next Sunday, which is the first Sunday of August, we will have our monthly guiding council meeting of the ICS Guiding Council. So those things are happening next Sunday as well. So other events, other announcements.
I just wanted to acknowledge that we talk about Chiaki every week. Here's Chiaki. We talk about Chiaki updating the website. This is Chiaki. She's the one that does all this work.
She's the one who keeps us all on our toes about what's coming up in the calendar. That's Chiaki. You have all emailed her. You know about Chiaki. Now you've met her. Well, thank you, because she lives in two different compartments in my brain, Peace Camp and ICS. And her husband, Matt, who's also very helpful around the building and around the doings of our community. And we love having them as members of our Peace Camp and members of our community as well, and supporting us, because we're all one. We're just all one. We know that's true. So let's, the service isn't over yet, because we're going to do a little bit of Bollywood dancing before we say goodbye today. So Bryce is going to make it so that the music will come through this year, and we will push our chairs gently back to the edge of the wall and invite everybody to stand in the center and join the dance. Remember, just because you don't usually dance at church doesn't mean you can't do it now.
पानी 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 और तुम भी सानी 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 आ जाओ on the beach यार फोटो मेरी खींच टूटी किस्मत होगी तेरी कर तूने ये बात न मानी आज दिल है पानी 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 और तुम भी सानी 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 आ जाओ on the beach यार फोटो मेरी खींच टूटी किस्मत होगी तेरी कर तूने ये बात न मानी जवानी का शोर आजा मेरी बाहों में girl what you waiting for तुझको मैं लेके चलूं फिर प्यारी सी यॉट पे हो जाएंगे हम टल्ली मैलिबू के शॉट पे तू है पानी 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 और तुम भी सानी 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 आ जाओ on the beach यार फोटो मेरी खींच टूटी किस्मत होगी तेरी कर तूने ये बात न माने आज वो है पानी 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 और तुम भी सानी 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 आ जाओ on the beach यार फोटो मेरी खींच टूटी किस्मत होगी तेरी कर तूने ये बात न माने
Now we'll say bye to the folks online. We've got them so worn out they're going to need a drink of water. So they're going to go that pani pani. That means water, 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 water. So everyone, thanks for being here. And those of you who are here, we'll sit back just briefly in our circle and do our closing prayer and our blessing, if you have a minute to do that. There's coffee and tea downstairs and a little bit of snacks. But let's just kind of close up with a little bit of our usual ending so we feel